Hi everybody, Russ and my Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hitting the bell icon so you're made aware of any time I put new content on. Today's guests, we've had Perry on. Now we've got Jamie on. So we've had the old buggers on. We're gonna have some young blood. We've got Jamie B. How you doing, Jay? How's things with you, man?
Mate. Yeah, really good, mate. Really good. All healthy, thank God.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's obviously, you know, you guys are back at the recording and stuff, and
yeah,
bit of a bugger, I can imagine, having to do it all, you know, with all the compliancy and stuff.
But yeah, it's not the easiest circumstances, easiest way of working, but just please get back to work.
Yeah,
more for mental state more than anything else. Just I can't sit around, mate. I can't do it. Can't do it. It's drives me mad.
It must be weird, isn't it? Because it's like, I suppose it's the same with me, really, getting back into the office. It's the same thing, isn't it? It's just like, you know, but obviously where I can carry on doing my job, but working from home on my computer, you really can't. It just...
No, there's only... Speaking to a few people, you know, everyone's just making the best of the situation, but there's just some things you cannot do for a screen.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're in this predicament, and we've just got to do our best to get out of it, haven't we?
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
And I suppose it gives everyone a good opportunity to, you know, what's good is obviously, you know, because it's back on, because Stenders is back on, at least there's some decent live stuff, you know what I mean? It's like they've had so many fucking reruns and stuff like that. It's nice having something live, something you know, recent, which is really good.
Yeah, it's nice to have a walk down memory lane, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, people just want to you know, be in contact with the show again, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. It's like the football. I mean, obviously, you know, a lot of people did a lot of looking at old matches and stuff like that during lockdown when there was no football. But then people were actually, you know, gaggling for get some live football and stuff, and at least it's all back, but all being a bit weird. But when you watch it, do you watch it with the sound on, the crowd noise, or crowd noise off?
Yeah, I don't know how to turn it on or off, so I'll just have whatever's on. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off.
Pays you money, you takes your choice.
Yeah, I just go on Sky and that's it. I don't know what I'm going to get, but yeah, I'm just glad it's back, really. Yeah. And also, actually, I'm a bit odd. Of course, I love it when the fans are there in the atmosphere, and that's another thing what you miss. You know, speaking to people. Oh, you going to the game Saturday?
Yeah.
Or, you know, oh yeah, went football last night or whatever. But I like getting an insight into hearing the players when they're playing.
Yeah.
Hearing them shout instructions, hearing managers shout instructions, hearing what they're shouting on the pitch.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
You just want to hear them swear, innit? That's the main thing.
Yeah, and that as well.
I always love it. I always like when the commentator has to apologise if they've heard some language which they shouldn't have heard.
Well, don't or lip read some language.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
don't watch that channel. Flick it over, or obviously you don't know how to do it, but obviously you just flick it over to Sky HD, wherever it is, and it won't. They can have it with all the crowd.
It's part and parcel of the game, isn't it? It's part and parcel of sport. It's like they're in a heated environment. Of course, they're gonna swear at times. You know what I mean? It's just
totally. Well, I mean, it's like, you know, when you was a kid, you know, you go to football, it's the first time you're probably allowed to swear, like, openly, without getting clip round the ear.
Yeah, and first time you heard swearing as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like first time you heard bad language on the terraces and whatever.
Yeah. It's like my daughter now, bless her, she's 8, and it's like when she hears, like, people in front of her swear, like, I don't know, even if it's, like, at the co-op or whatever, she, like, goes all red, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Because they said the F word. Like, what? Flip?
Yes,
no.
Daddy, you said a naughty word. You owe me a $5.
Daddy, that's a swear word. You can't say arse. And I was like, well...
Yeah.
But she's getting to that age... Yeah, exactly. But she's getting to that age now where I say arse, and she went, oh, yeah, but are you talking about your bum or a feet or a donkey? I was like, oh, don't be smarky.
Yeah, you've got a lot of that to come, mate. A lot of that to come.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, God, yeah, she's 8... I mean, yeah, she's 8 going on 18, so I'm not bothered about that. But yeah, anyway, it is. But it's fun, and it's weird because she's not at school. She's at school, and it's like, you know, you're so used to having them around for the last like 5 months.
Cool.
And yeah, But
this couldn't happen when I was at school. I would have absolutely loved this now if I was at school. Would have loved it. 5 months off. Oh, go on then. You try and stop me.
But your dad's. But if I was thinking it the other day. If it happened during when I was, at school, you got there's no Netflix. There's you got your Nokia 3310s playing Snake.
Yeah.
As your entertainment. I'd have been absolutely banging off the walls. You know what I mean? The kids now don't know they're born, Jay. They don't know they're born, man.
They don't know they're born. They don't. I mean, I'm not. I remember the 3310s, 3210s. That was my kind of era. But we did have PlayStations.
Yes.
So I'd have just been sat on that all day.
All day, innit?
Up all night, in bed all day, eating crisps all day. Oh, I love it.
Eating crisps. Done your homework? No. They ain't sent me none.
Dad, how do you know? I need help with my own work. When's it got to be in? Tomorrow. Oh, you've had a week to do it. Why have you waited till the last minute?
Yeah.
Well, because, it's just
they always do. Always do, don't they? But now it's like distractions. She's distracted. She's on Roblox or I don't know, whatever it is, whatever she wants me to. She always just says, I don't know what she's on, but she went, Daddy, can you buy me some Robux or whatever it is to buy a house or whatever, Minecraft thing. No idea what it is. But anyway, as always, we digress.
Yes, we do.
So, it's a West Ham channel. It's not about Robux.
It's not. It's the Hammers.
It's about the Hammers. So, first question I always ask, only 6 minutes in, that's not too bad for me this time, is why is West Ham your club, Joe? Why is it your club?
West Ham is my club because I'm born and bred in the area, family born and bred in the area, all Stratford, and just all I remember growing up, anything to do with football was West Ham.
Yeah.
So it was just natural flow that I was going to support West Ham. Dads, uncles, cousins, granddad, all Hammer supporters, all my dad's mates, all my mates in my school growing up at the time.
Of course, yeah.
Went to school in Dagenham, so it was just East, just East London, Essex, Dagenham, West Ham. It was just like a natural progression into it.
Didn't have a chance, yeah.
It's just written on the wall. I was going to be an Hammers supporter.
Was there ever not desire, that's the wrong word, but it'd be nice to support a team who's doing a bit better than West Ham?
My story at that was I loved Michael Owen. He was my favourite player.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So I did have a little spell of wearing Liverpool shirts just for Michael Owen. It was like if he'd have gone anywhere, I'd have worn that shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but at the time, he was at Liverpool, and I did have a little spell of wearing Liverpool shirts.
Yeah.
And one of the first games I ever went to was West Ham Liverpool at Upton Park with one of my. At the time, I had this crowd of older mates. They were called.
Yeah.
To this day, I don't really know how I ever met them, and I went with one of them, and he was a Liverpool supporter, and I was a West Ham supporter. So we went up Upton Park, and I remember, walking out of Upton Park, and the queue at Upton Park station was like right down. So we walked to Plaistow, and it took us hours and hours to get home, and all that classic stuff that you used to get around Upton Park. That was one of the first games I ever went to, and Michael Owen's playing in that game, and he scored, and I jumped up and cheered. And everyone's like looking at me, this young kid. And Paul, the geezer I was with, was like, keep it down. Because he was a Liverpool supporter as well, but we was in the West Ham in.
Yeah.
Bobby Moore we was in. The biggest, the most nuttiest bit of West Ham. Where it all went off, where no one sat down. You remember Bobby Moore and I'm up cheering when Michael Owen scored.
Yeah, but you're a kid, innit? You're a kid, innit?
Yeah. I think
it must be. It's like seeing it's like seeing. He was your idol at the time, innit? It's like, it's all right. Yeah, most people, as you said, it's like he was, you're a kid, it's football and stuff. It's just one of those things where it gets taken out. It's like when some people, they can only get a ticket for, I don't know, Man U away, and they can only sit at the Man U end and West Ham score, and they've got to sort of bite their lip as hard as they can and sit on their hands because they know it's going to absolutely kick off. But that's that's half the fun of being a fan, is those moments. Because
part and parcel of it, isn't it?
It is. It is, and I think that's why I think people enjoy. And as you said, it's not necessarily about the result or whatever. It's as you said, all your family are West Ham, your mates are all West Ham, So it's going down to Upton Park with your mates or your family, or even your Liverpool supporting older boys, and
Liverpool supporting older
and
boys.
just and then you're right. It's like you go to the game, all that. I think that's what people miss. It's great that it's on telly, but I think and obviously by all accounts, it's going to be a little bit longer now than we anticipated. That everyone gets back, but. But it's nice that people still. And that's the idea of this channel, so people can sort of reminisce, and that's why people like it, because it's just like two blokes talking in a pub, although we don't shut at 10:00. That makes me laugh. Someone mentioned it the other day. I think it's Arsenal Liverpool is on Monday night. I think it's 8:00 kickoff. So they'll have to, anyone who's gone to the pub to watch it, they'll have to kick them out with like 15 minutes to spare. Oh. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, that's it. The virus goes to bed at 10 anyway, doesn't it?
It does. That's what I've heard. Right. That's what I've heard. It's got its own curfew, so we're fine. It counts how many people you've got in a group. If you've got 6, it won't bother you. But as soon as you've got 7, you'll go, hang on.
Yeah, I've seen you coming.
Mouth. That's in you go, number 7. But no, it is what it is. But I mean, obviously, do you still get, obviously with everything, with all the schedule and or particularly pre-COVID, all the schedule for the recording and stuff? Do you still get over to see many games? Or did you rather?
Do you know what? I went for a spell. Really good friend of mine, Joe Powell, was in the team. He was in their 23s, and I would go and watch their 23s whenever he played all the time. And he had a little spell, like in the first team. Yeah. And he had a little period, and we was over there a lot, obviously, to support him. Yeah, and then just by sheer circumstance, when he kind of fell out the first team and he was back in the 23s, I would go and watch him whenever I could. But I then picked up with doing other things, and I just couldn't get over there. But I have to say though, I think it's a good thing that we're in that stadium, because it's like
I agree.
A club like West Ham being at something like that is a good thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, like everyone, I just miss the tradition of Upton Park.
Yeah.
I miss the tradition of it. Like, we would go there. We would park at the ground. We'd go up Upton Park snooker, all be in there for a little while with my uncle and all that, while everyone's walking. You go out onto the veranda, and you can see the build-up and the hustle and bustle of it all. And that's what I really miss. Being at Upton Park was like being in your living room. Yes. You knew everywhere. You knew where you were. You knew everyone. You knew, everyone would go to the pie and mash shop or the chip shop or whatever it may be. And they had their regular life.
Yeah.
It's not like I miss, we were really close to the pitch. I don't miss that. I miss the tradition of it. I miss the train journey. I miss going to Upton Park, seeing the queue was right down, long, where the station is, that long wall, and right down there. Yeah. Walking to Plaster. That's what I miss about it.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it's funny. I think you're right. It's not necessarily the football or the proximity. It's about, as you said, the tradition. It's about, and it is. I mean, not being funny, we were there for how many years? 100 years, 99 years, and so it is going to be different. But it is different. Football is different. It's moved on a little bit now, and it's more about, you don't get so many of those old-fashioned grounds anymore now, where it's like it's in the middle. I mean, actually, it's in the middle, isn't it? Like Upton Park, whereas London Stadium's not. I think that's St James's Park. Wembley, they're all like cavernous. There's nothing. exactly, because they're so big. No, it's a beautiful stadium. Nothing again. I think it's great.
Lovely.
I just think if the football and if the team perform well, the stadium's the last thing that people moan about.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah.
It's just an excuse, really. I mean, we were crap. Yeah, so we were, be honest, we were shit sometimes at Upton Park, quite often than not, bar like maybe 2 or 3 seasons in my lifetime. And people have this romanticism view of it, and football's moved on. It's you don't get people who hang around like Nobes does for 10 years or whatever. No. You don't get that no more. No. And that's why I like doing this channel with different people from different sort of age groups, because people have to come from a different perspective. You come from a sort of a more modern perspective. I was interviewing a guy today who's in the 60s. So he has deep seated and stuff. And I mean, even you and Pell, obviously Pell comes from the Ray Winston school of West Ham fans, and you come from the modern era. So, but you're all West Ham. That's the main thing.
That's it.
And you must exactly. And and Pell was saying how much he tried to integrate West Ham into EastEnders, into the set and stuff like that. And
he wears his hat and his scarf and his gloves, and anytime he's got anytime he's got any opportunity to get West Ham in there, he's doing that. Yeah, it's good. You need it.
But there's a nice group of you there, isn't there? There's you. There's Pell. There's Dan. You got Danny. You got Scott as well.
Maslin's there. There used to be loads.
Yeah, it used to be
loads.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the old essays as well. A lot of the old extras. They was all West Ham. We used to have a bit of banter with them, and a lot of the prop boys, West Ham. So there is still quite a few. There used to be loads.
Yeah. Well, it used to be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think Pell was probably the first lot. The first of the next, like, your generation. Obviously, before then, obviously, you had Nick Berry and all them lot and Todd and that lot. And no, it is good. It is fun. But it does it does seem that EastEnders is like a West Ham show, just because obviously when they're in the Vic and you see all the stuff and up top,
of course.
It's nice. It is nice. It is nice.
No,
but,
it is nice.
Compared to other places, where he's like, not being funny, like, Coronation Street or whatever, that's clearly in Manchester, but there's no reference to.
Yeah, they don't really mention City.
No, you don't.
Up there, do they? It's weird. Isn't
I wonder if it's so divisive because it's so divisive. It's like
we're not
West
really,
Ham's. No, we're not, are we?
West Ham and Leyton Orient fans in the.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Don't really have that, do we?
No, you don't. Or Wolford FC. They've that's gone away a little bit. Now,
that's why I think that's a good thing that we're just one. One team, one area, one club.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah,
one club in the Prem.
Well, I mean, also because now E20 is the postcode of London Stadium, isn't it? Really? So where it was made up, it's not made up now. It's like it's part and parcel. So
get a little bit of realism in that E20. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Anyway, let's move on to the 11. So. The idea of the show is to get people to pick their 11. So it's Miami's 11, and so it's your 11. You can pick whoever you want, but the only caveat is you have to be alive to have seen them play. So basically, you and me, we couldn't put in Bobby Moore in our team. Okay. But if you had to pick your 11, you'd probably pick Bobby Moore because of everything that everyone tells you about him.
Of course.
But that's not fair because we didn't see Moore, Brookie, Bonds. No, and that's the idea. So we'll play 11. So we do your 11, Jay, and we're going to do Jamie's 11. I'm going to write it down as well. Right. So we're going to start off in goal. Who's going to be in goal for your 11?
Now, let me just say, firstly, these are not necessarily the best players.
No, and that's it. It's your 11. You pick whoever you want.
Players that, when I think back, they had an impact.
Yeah, definitely.
So in goal, it was a toss-up between Rob Green, and Shaka.
Oh, big fan.
And I've gone Shaka.
Oh, friend of the channel. Big fan of Shaka.
Big Shaq.
Love him.
Goal.
He was just so cool, wasn't he?
Just remember him. You know what I mean? I just remember him.
Yeah. No, I do. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, he was just so cool. And what I like, and that was the last era I can remember where footballers were like normal people. That now, you're on Instagram. They all like live in Canary Wharf, and stuff like that, on apartments, and wouldn't even think of going to the co-op to get a pint of milk or whatever. But I remember, with Shaka, he used to be, and because when I interviewed him, he was brilliant because he used to live in, both used to live in Loughton, and I used to serve him at Safeways. It's like you'd never get that now. You'd never get like. I know.
Oh yeah, Haller came in the other day.
Haller, and he bought a baguette. Baguette and some digestives and some Nice biscuits. But no, it's a shame because it's like there was nothing more exciting, and you can relate to this as well as when he was a young kid. As you go down the road and you see a player, and it's like one of your idols. It's like for you, it's like. It's like with footballers, I get a bit tongue-tied with footballers. Everyone else, not really, but something about footballers, and it's like, oh my god, it's Ian Bishop, or
you get
John
starstruck.
Yeah, you do. He's so funny. But but Shaka's one of those guys who's just like, lovely bloke.
Shaka's cool, man. Shaka's cool.
He is proper cool, and he's like, we interviewed him, and he was because he lives in America. He lives on the East Coast. And he was sweating buckets, bless him. You could see sweating, but he didn't want to chat. And I was trying to speed up the interview for him, and he was going longer and longer on because he just wanted to chat about it. And it was Oh, you got to smile when you think of Shaq.
You got to let him have his moment.
Yeah, and obviously he was the FA Cup final goalkeeper.
Yeah, mate. He's ledge. Shaq's ledge, mate.
He was a ledge. Right, okay. Are we going to go a 4-4-2, Jamie? Or
yeah, we are, but we're going to kind of like chop and change. It's not going to be everyone set in their positions. We're going to have I'm imagining this is like a charity game. So we're letting people have a little free roll.
Love it. Free roll. That's free rolls. No one plays free rolls anymore in football now, do it? Everyone's
only Messi. Only
Messi. Yeah, I suppose you're allowed that. Right. Okay. Let's go left back then. Who we should have
left back? I'm going, and he'll be fuming if I don't get him in. Good man, very good power of mine. Conch, we're sticking in.
Oh, good old Conch
at left back. Yeah, he's sitting Conch.
Yeah, good old Conch. Good man. I interviewed him last night. Top man, Paul. Top bloke.
He's top man.
Love him.
He's a really proper top man.
Yeah. And obviously, he talking the FA Cup, he scored that goal, didn't he? He scored the goal.
The goal in the final, he's talking about the cross goal.
Yes.
The cross goal.
Yeah, he admitted to me it was a cross. Yeah. It was like, nowadays, you could probably get away with it being a goal because football... football. They score some really spectacular goals, particularly like the Payets and things like that. In terms of the curve in the ball. But no, he admitted it was cross.
Top man. He just another thing I really like about Paul is, I know with Joe at West Ham, and then he went on to Billericay, where another one of my mates played there with him, and then under him for a little while. He's great with the youngsters, Paul. He's great with the youngsters, steering them what he thinks is the right direction. He does his best to look after them as well, and he is great with the youngsters. And they all spoke really, really highly of him. And he's just like one of the lads, and he's just one of your own, and he's a ledge.
Yeah, he is, and exactly what he says. He just seems, when I interviewed him, he was so about the kids, and in terms of sort of passing on what he wants, what he's learnt in the game and stuff, and just get that sense. He's top bloke.
No, he's top.
Right. All right, he's left back. Conch's left back. Who's going to be right back then?
Right back. I think he was a left back actually, but he might have been a right back. And I remember, mate, he was a legend. Thomas Repka.
Oh yeah, he was right back. Yeah, he played right back.
He was a right back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Thomas.
But I just remember, everything you wanted from a defender. Like, he was aggressive, he was powerful, strong.
Yeah.
And I remember always watching him play and thinking, I'd hate to play against him.
Yeah, completely.
I would hate to play against him.
Conch put him in his as well, and he was saying that he was just like a lovely bloke, and I was like, well, what's it like when you've got like a nut, because he was a nut job, to be honest, but like. In the training ground and in the changing rooms, he was like, do you know what? He was the nicest bloke in the world. But then you just know he's got that switch, and I think that's why fans loved him, because he could just switch. 100%. And we love a nutter. We do love a nutter.
We do love a nutter.
But he loved the club. Absolutely adored the club.
Mate, the passion. When West Ham, I always remember him at the end. He'd be the only one there clapping all the fans. Like the other players had clapped, but they'd gone in there.
Yeah.
And he.
Oh, Jay just dropped out. So I think you've got a phone call, Jay, as well, I think.
Yeah, I've got a phone. If you can hear me, I've got a phone call.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to let it ring out. There you go, it's gone now. There you go.
All right. You might have to switch your camera back on, I think.
How do we do this?
I don't know. Anyway, see if you can figure it out. Trevor Sinclair couldn't.
Oh, don't do this to me. Camera.
But that's the trouble. You're popular man, Jamie. So it's like, you get all these... You always drop out, drop back in again, man, if you want. And
I'm out. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't see you. And that's
going on.
And people can see me, but they're probably a bit sick of seeing me, to be honest, now, because it's like,
No.
Yes.
Specimen of a man.
Specimen of a man, indeed.
We're gone. I don't know how to do it.
No. Just drop out, drop back.
Can we drop out and drop back in?
Yeah. Drop out, drop back in again, and I'll do a little bit in between. It's all right. It's no problem.
Let me try and work this out.
All right, go on. No. Anyway, so James will come back in a minute. Don't forget, everyone, we've got this. We'll have the last quiz night coming up for Irons Point Food Banks. That's coming up on Thursday. Make sure you please and obviously donate as well. Because we're trying to raise all this money for the Irons Point Food Banks group. We've got, I think, we're on about 80, about 19. So we're almost at 20k. So it's really, 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 really close. So please make sure you keep that going. And he's back. There we go. I've done a plug. Anyway, back in. We're back in. Thomas Repka, he's in. We love him. We love a nutter. Next one. Let's go for the next one then, Joe.
So the two centre halves.
Yeah.
We're going Anton.
Yes.
Because I just remember him being really poignant in my time as, in the main bit when I used to always go West Ham.
It would be, yeah.
Always there. Anton was there.
Yeah. And
then alongside him, because I did see him play, I'm going Rio.
Oh, reuniting the brothers.
And rightly so. Because he's, what a player.
Oh, what a player! They both are. I mean, it's like. I mean, I think it's. I felt we've interviewed Anton, and I feel a bit not sorry for him, but he was quite open about having to follow his brother's footsteps.
And, what
must be hard.
Footsteps? What difficult footsteps has to walk into, difficult shoes to fill. But he was great for West Ham. I loved West Ham. I felt so safe with him at the back.
Yes,
felt so safe. And then later on in his career, he played at Southend for a little while a few of my mates were there, and they said he was a great lad, like great in the dressing room, just So that's always nice to hear, isn't it, when you hear players?
Top guy.
You know what I mean?
He's a top guy. I mean, he's lovely. Literally, it was like it's probably one of the most what's the word? Honest interviews I've ever had with a player, because he was just like talking about Rio, talking about the pressures of going of playoffs, and and it's things you don't think about. And he was talking about all the players, and he was really, really good. And maybe Rio one day. I'm working on Anton to get Rio in. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? But
I'm sure you will.
I'm sure.
You will.
Now we've got Jamie B on. It's the next step, isn't it?
It's only the right progression, isn't it? Really,
it's the right progression. Right, all right. We've got the Ferdinand brothers. Oh, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Ferdinand brothers in central defence. Right, let's go midfield then, Jamie. Who are we gonna have? Let's go left midfield.
So left mid, I'm so biased, and I think he only made maybe a couple of first team appearances, but he really is like a brother. And I'm sticking him in for that reason. But I'm putting Pally in.
Yeah.
I'm putting Joe in because I just out of pure no other reason. Just being so biased.
Yeah.
I'm just sticking him in.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a great, I think, it was one of those, I mean, Powley's very similar. There was lots of those types of, lots of players around him at the time, weren't there, as well?
Yeah, there was Nathan, and there was Dan Kemp, Connor Coventry, that little team of players and all great lads. And they were great going to watch them play. Like, they are. All together for the 23s. They were great. And I just thought that they would have made a real impact in the first team. Not necessarily all together, but over a staggered period. Do you know what I mean? Like one comes through and so on. And I just really thought that would have been that kind of next generation, of homegrown players.
Totally. Yeah, and absolutely, totally. I mean, I used to, we do the occasionally, obviously, when we're playing it, when we do it in London Stadium, we do all the music and stuff there. And yeah, no, they're great. I mean, they're always, and obviously Grady, Grady was in that bunch as well. I remember Grady not being on the bench, not even starting really for the 23s. Yeah. It's just funny how different players progress at different rates, isn't it? And no, he was, I mean, as you said, Power. Obviously, you got in the cup games, you'll have probably Connor probably play and people like that. And it's a shame because I think we cry out for these players, and then when they turn up, we don't play them. We just it tends to be we go for experience and stuff like that, and it's a balancing act, isn't it? Really, because
of course you just just obviously really biasedly, I just feel that I was hoping that they was really going to take a chance with him, and they did at one spell, but that he was really kick on, and I was hoping that he'd be kind of knocking around the regular first team mark now. He's moved on, and I'm sure he can. He will have a great, successful career. And all his family are great as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm so close with all his family. His brother Jack, who was at West Ham when he was a youngster, we're really close, and his mum and his dad. You know what I mean? The whole family, like, he's a great lad, and he's like one of my best pals. So I've got to stick him in.
Oh, good man. All right, okay, he's in. All right, okay, right midfielder. Who should we have on the other wing then?
Right midfielder, I'm going Carlos Tevez.
Oh, okay.
He's not exactly a right midfielder. I know that, but
he'd do a job there, that's for sure.
And I just remember, like, when he came over, the impact he had on the team.
Yeah.
Was just, it was like, wow, wasn't it? We couldn't really believe that we'd nicked these two players from Argentina. And I remember it when they signed him, and it was... And, like, it's funny, isn't it? Because Mascherano was a bit like the underfigure. It was like Tevez was the top and he was the bottom. But then you look at the careers... he had Mascherano had a great spell at Liverpool, and then he goes on and plays for Barcelona.
Yeah,
winning everything. Do you know what I mean?
But it wasn't as good. It wasn't as good as Hayden Mullins though, so that's the trouble, isn't it?
No, it weren't as good as Hayden. No, it's true.
But that's the thing, and it's true. It's like, I think it's just everyone in sort of that type of position anyway. It's not a glamorous position that Mascherano played in, similar to Mullins and people like that.
Yeah,
where Tevez gets all the plaudits, but actually. And that's why I like interviewing ex-professionals. So, like, say, Conch, for example. Conch put Mullins in his team. He said, I've got to have him in my team. Yeah. And he doesn't appear in any fans' 11, but all the players put him in. With sort of slightly older generation, Peter Butler. Peter Butler's a very similar type player. Martin Allen, Kevin Keane, Bish, they all talk about Peter Butler in this glowing terms.
Yeah.
Because he didn't score the goals, you don't remember him, and it's things like that.
It's true, yeah. But what's a career, though? What's a career? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you play, if you play in the Prem, you've I just don't think people understand sometimes how difficult it is and how good you actually have to be. Yeah. So if you've got a spell there, then you're just like, wow.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
That's the way I look at it. Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think
good games, bad games. I understand that.
Yeah.
But you're playing in the Prem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's only 460 odd players a season who do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like how many people play football across the world, and when you think of it in that way, you're like, fucking hell, no wonder. It's people like Joe, unfortunately, has to move on, and there's loads of kids there.
And there's loads of kids who probably should have had the chance, and who may be better players or better professionals than some currently. Yeah. But having said that, if you them opportunities, if you get the opportunity but you sustain it, then there's no one who can argue with that, really, is there? Really?
No. It's the same with West Ham. Every fan would dream of putting on the claret and blue and running out.
Absolutely.
And even if they've played one game, even if it's Billy Bonds or Neil Finn or John Pansel or it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they've lived your dream, haven't they? Yeah,
absolutely. And you walked out with that shirt on to the track being played. Like, what a feeling! What a feeling!
Exactly. I figured out the other day. I reckon I've played that track over 1,000 times. I was thinking about it because this season's my 20th season at West Upton Park, at London Stadium / Upton Park, and I reckon it's about 1,000 times I've played that CD, and it's still a CD. But yes, God bless it. But
God bless it.
Ain't changed. Right, okay. Carlitos is in. Let's go into central midfield then.
Centre mid, I think this man picks himself, and that's Nobes.
Yeah.
I think he picks himself, then he Mr. West Ham.
Yeah, he is.
That's it. What it says on the tin, Mr. West Ham.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's pretty much probably been a West Ham player for most of your footballing life.
Absolutely,
West Ham,
yeah, absolutely.
So it's like,
absolutely, yeah. And there were players who I have seen at West Ham, and it really hurt me to not put him in. But Joey Cole, Michael Carrick, obviously Lamps, ran that, and they're all unbelievable players. But I just had to put Mr. Nobes in.
Yeah.
And a legend that is.
Himself. He is indeed, bless him. And there's something about having a West Ham fan in your team. Do you know what I mean? It just he's going to put a shift in. Doesn't know what happens. You can't criticise the fact he's not putting a shift in. He might not be the best player. His legs might be gone, but he's going to try it for 90 minutes or 60.
Absolutely. And he's going to back the club as well.
Yeah. Definitely. And he has done, obviously. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Cool.
Right, okay, Nobes is in. Who else is going to be in central midfield then?
Centre midfield with Nobes, I'm putting Deck in there.
Yeah, Mr. Rice.
You know, I think he's a player who he's just got that kind of he's so young, and I really think he can hold it in most teams in world football.
Oh, definitely.
I really do. I really do. I think he's obviously cracking on with England, and there was a bit of like this. He was going to go to Chelsea, and you know what? If he did go to Chelsea, obviously not now. I don't think he'll go now. But if he ever did in the future, I kind of would like take my hat off to him and go, mate, good luck.
I think everyone would.
Go and fulfil your potential and go and try and win trophies and get to the top of this game. Do you know what I mean? Because he's just in England at the moment. I'm really, really excited about England's youth and England players, and I think there's a number of players in England's team at the moment who are superstars, who go onto that superstar level, and who could play for Real Madrid or who could play for Barcelona or Bayern Munich or whoever. And I think Declan Rice is certainly on that path.
Definitely. I mean, the role he plays, I can't think of anyone who plays it better in world football. I'll be honest.
I think he's brilliant.
I think he's great, and that's the one thing I wouldn't want him to go to Chelsea for, because he went to Chelsea, Lamps will put him centre back, and I just think it'll be a loss to England as well as the Premier League, because he's just I have rose tinted or claret tinted glasses, and I see the way he learns from Mark Noble. I would love to him think, oh, do you know what? I'm going to stay at West Ham all my whole career and become a legend. It's like,
a legend.
Please, but if you don't, you're right. I think he's one of those players who's not going to. If Chelsea came in and with a crap bid and we said no, he's not going to throw his toys out of a pram. And go and strike.
I certainly think he's looking at the situation with the right mature eyes.
Totally.
Which is what, as a fan, I'm looking at. If Chelsea came knocking on his door for the right money and whatever else, I would like to think he'd leave the club with love. Go, listen, thank you for everything. And us as fans have to go, mate, go and fulfil your potential. We'd love to see you crack on and do well. Do you know what I mean?
Of course we would, yeah.
Of course we would. And also just a great lad. We went to me and Max Bowden, who plays Ben in the show. We went to a circus thing that my friend organised, and we went there, and he was there. And obviously, we knew of each other because of Powley. Yeah. So we finally met, and it was Powley, and we're having a chat, and blah 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 blah. And then what's her name? Off Britain's Got Talent. What's her name? The rapper woman.
Alicia Dixon?
No. She was a contestant on there.
Oh, she's a contestant. Honey G. Oh, God, yes.
Honey G came over and she was like, massively sensitive. She was like, I've got to get a picture with you two. She was like, oh, yeah, all right then. And I'm like kicking Deck in the ankles, like, oh, Deck, come on, you got to get in this. And he just poked his head through, like, photobombing the picture. And, we'd chat every so often. And, great lad. But just nice on a football level, I really would love to see him, like, crack on, whether that be at West Ham or at Chelsea or wherever he wants to go.
Yeah. We'll see. See what happens. Right, okay, Deck's in. And then we've got strikers.
Two strikers.
Who's up front?
Dean Ashton.
Dino. What could have been?
Just remember him being at West Ham, being so clinical, prolific, vital in that team around the kind of 06, 07, 08 mark. I'm sure it was around that time.
It was, yeah.
And just like, what a player. And everyone loved him, like fans' favourite.
Oh, he is. He was like, because he was like a bit like and he sort of crossed generations. He was a bit old school, a bit David Cross. He's a big lad, but he had a bit of a turn. He had a little bit of pace. He could beat a man. He had a shot like a whip. He could just literally cane it in. He was a complete striker, and I think a lot of fans saw him as a bit like an old school forward. And that's why sort of people loved him. But
absolutely.
It was just a shame, because I think not just for West Ham but England, he would have been maroon. He would have smashed it, absolutely smashed it together. Absolutely. Right, okay, Dino's in. Who is the last piece? Of the Jamie Pie?
Again, great lad, like Marlon Howard. Big Mars. Them two up top, I think it's good. And again, like I remember these players. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they were there when I was there, and so And he's cracking on now. He's doing his thing with his cars, and
he loves his cars.
He loves his motors, and he's got a company with another fella, Ricardo, AC13 down there. They're really good.
He is, yeah.
Sorted a few of us out at work, and they're like,
oh wait, is they?
Oh, yeah, okay. They're good. They're good.
Yeah. Because you plugged it, you probably get a deal now next time. So that'll be all right.
Wow, absolutely. Well, yeah.
Good old man. But no, I know what you mean. He was like, and he was an exciting player. Hayward was. I used to love. Because where I used to do it at Upton Park, where I used to do music at Upton Park, it was like between the Bobby and the Rio stand, or whatever it was called, Alpari, whatever. And so so where the scoreboard was, and there was this little corner, and Marlon was usually drift off onto the right anyway, and so he'd always be, I call it Harewood corner, because he'd get the ball and do like a little something and beat a man, and it was always in that corner. It was brilliant, and I loved the man. He's a top bloke. Top bloke, but no, it's a nice team. It's a nice team, Jamie. Like it, man. Like it.
I think there's a lot of love in there.
There's a lot of love in there. There's a lot of love in there, and that's what it is. And that's what it is, because players mean something to everyone, and that's the idea. It's everyone has a different generation and stuff, and it's some very similar picks to mine in there, which are good. But no, listen, man, it's been great. Honestly, I appreciate your time. I'm a really, really busy man.
No problem. Thank you so much for having us.
It's absolute pleasure. Cheers,
Come
Jamie.
on, your eyes.
Come on, your eyes, indeed. Obviously, thanks everyone for watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on the podcasty stuff on Spotify, or I should really find out what it's called. Apple Podcasts and the other thing.
All the platforms are
all the podcast platforms available. But until next time, for me and Jamie, obviously don't forget EastEnders as well. Watch EastEnders.
Yeah, and that.
Watch that, it's quite good. Until next time, for me and Jamie, take care, everyone. Stay safe, come on your wines, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Cheers, everyone. Take care.